I think this might be the third HBO movie I reviewed, and I gotta say, I like what they're doing. They're taking these ideas that wouldn't sell tickets in theaters, but their story's worth telling, so they give them some budget to work with. It's clear these aren't big budget movies, but they've got competent people behind them. And usually great actors too, like Laura Dern, Benedict Cumberbatch, and in this case Jeffrey Wright. He plays an inmate in a maximum security prison, and it's clear he's been there for a while. He seems very comfortable and he's got his daily routines. And for the first part of the movie you basically just get to know him as a character. But it also sets up a bit of tension. He gets sort of wrapped up in something. And the main thing here is that he's gotta stay out of trouble. Because he's getting out in a few weeks, so he's got a bit of a balancing act going on. And that's the main premise here, that's basically the driving force behind the movie. And there's a few other threads going on too, but I don't really want to give anything away. But they do sort of dig into his psychology too, his mental state. What it must be like getting out of prison after being fully institutionalized. After prison life has become your new normal, the only life you really even know. The outside must be very intimidating. Maybe even more so than prison life. Which is kinda crazy to think about, but yeah, they explore that a bit too. And there's a few things I really liked about this movie. The first being it feels authentic. It's not over dramatized and it's one of the most realistic feeling depictions of prison life I've ever seen in a movie. There's some drama of course, otherwise we wouldn't have a movie. But it's not over the top and crazy. It feels like it could very much happen for real. And the other thing I really liked is that it doesn't spoon feed you information. But it doesn't hold out on you either. Everything you need to know is right there. As long as you're paying attention you'll figure it out. But it doesn't say it outright. You'll have to read between the lines a little bit, which I appreciate. Now here's something pretty unique and interesting, which I didn't know while watching the movie. But apparently the movie is shot in an active prison, with actual inmates and guards. I'm not sure if there were no other actors than Jeffrey Wright in this. Well, I know for sure there was one other actor, but I also know a few key characters who were actual inmates. And that explains a lot. Primarily why the movie felt so authentic. But it doesn't really explain the acting. I mean, it's not Oscar-worthy or anything, but it's really solid. And I would have never thought they weren't actors. They give very natural performances. So I guess that's just down to getting them not to really act, but to be natural and do whatever they would normally do. Especially the guards. They seem like actual guards going about their day. They seem almost disinterested and bored, because most of it's just routine. They're just doing their job, things they've done a million times before. No one's gonna be yelling and screaming and threatening if it's just your daily routine, like you see in a lot of these prison movies. Sure, it livens things up a bit, but this just feels more authentic, probably because it is. So yeah, this is a very interesting and sort of grounded look into what prison life might actually be like. And overall it's very well made, especially considering the conditions it was made under. It can't be easy to make a movie this way, but I'd say it paid off. This is definitely something a bit different than your average prison movie. That being said, as a whole, it's not amazing. It's just kinda decent. Perfectly watchable and enjoyable, but not much more than that. And ironically enough, I guess one of the big issues was that not that much really happens. It's a very grounded movie, but not all that dramatic, which kinda lessens the entertainment value. So that's a bit of a double-edged sword. It made it feel more realistic, but less dramatic. But would I recommend this thing? Sure, I'd say it's probably worth a shot. So check it out, or don't. I'm not your prison daddy, but I am trying to sell out, so consider liking, subbing, hitting that bell and supporting me on Patreon. Because I really need some of that commissary money. And hey, why not drop a comment below, or check out another review? I'd appreciate it. Thanks.